Ladies and gentlemen, here is Ruslan Provodnikov.
Gentlemen, you've seen the instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect. It's a good, clean fight. Let's shake them up and get it on. Good luck.
10-rounder with Bobby Howard as the referee. You go back a bit with Bobby Howard, right?
Yeah, Bobby Howard's a good man, good referee. Cares about the job that he's doing, and it shows in his work.
Joe and Teddy with you ringside here as we're ready for our main event. David Torres and Ruslan Provodnikov.
Torres has been inactive. Been off, out of the ring for 11 months. You go back 3 fights, Joe. He was off 1 year and 3 months. That's not going to help him tonight. He needs all the help he can get, I think. Provodnikov could walk right through him. Torres took this fight on about 3 weeks, a little bit more notice. Torres has not won in his last 3, 2 draws and a KO loss, and only 1 win in his last 5 with 2 KO losses.
Had a missed opportunity to be on Friday Night Fights last summer. They called him to hook up with Juan Diaz. And that fell out.
One good thing for Torres, maybe it's a good thing, most of his fights have been in Washington State, so he's comfortable fighting here. Provodnikov gets cut. He also cuts guys with his punches or with his head. And Provodnikov, in his last fight with DeMarcus Corley, as I mentioned earlier, a fight where a lot of people thought it was a lot closer than the scores indicated. Some people even thought that Provodnikov might have lost that fight if it wasn't in Russia. But he was cut over and below his left eye and over his right eye. And from what I understand, he was cut fairly bad. Now, I'm just wondering, that was only a month and a half ago. I'm wondering if that cut has had time to heal.
Knockdown scored here halfway through the first round.
6, you okay? 7, 8. Give me every glove. Walk to me strong. Walk to me.
I was afraid when this fight was made and I saw it on the schedule, it was a mismatch. I just thought to myself, if I was in charge of making the fight, I wouldn't have made it. I just thought Provodnikov was just too big and strong.
Right hand split the guard that time, and then a chopping left hook, digs in with a 2-punch combination, tried to place the uppercut. Beltline got hit by a right hand, and now Torres is looking just to survive here in the corner of round number 1 as Provodnikov goes after him.
Torres showing heart, but he's just too small. You know, he's like a mosquito trying to fight a windshield. He's getting splatted. Provodnikov between junior welter and welterweight, Joe, his whole career, while Torres has been a junior welterweight his whole career, even as low as 136, lightweight.
Couldn't get out of the way of that right hand moments ago as well.
I wonder if Provodnikov is deciding now to carry Torres a little bit. Don't think it doesn't happen.
No,
he sees
he
thinks he can dominate him. He thinks maybe he's got nothing to worry about. Maybe now he's saying, you know what? Let me work on some things. Let me get some rounds. With a guy that I think, for the most part, I can be safe with.
Finish at the bell. No punch.
You're never safe in that ring, Joe. You never know. You can get cut, you can get caught. Provodnikov has 150 amateur fights, so he knows how to time guys coming in with that right hand and then a little love tap with the left hook. But the one thing Provodnikov could always do, Joe, was time guys coming in on the outside. And again, a lot of the reason for that is he's calm in the ring. He had 150 amateur fights.
Torres hurt there in round number 1. Provodnikov scored the knockdown. CompuBox numbers look this way. 40-7 connect advantage through 100 punches even, according to CompuBox, did the Russian.
Get him. Provodnikov just wants to walk in. And I know we're trying to get better with Provodnikov. You're trying to improve so you can move up that ladder with better fighters where you're not going to get away with just walking in. But if he wants to just walk in, or he's going to walk in and walk through, Torres, I think you saw a pretty good glimpse of that in the first round.
Box out of it. Box out of it. Keep it clean. Watch your heads on the inside.
I'm just wondering what's going through the mind of Provodnikov. I'd like to read his mind right now. Is he thinking to himself, hey, let me get some rounds here. Let me practice some things. Good counter right hand there. Provodnikov is good at countering with right hands over your jab if you throw that jab a little slow. He's got that down good. He's also got a left hook to the body down pretty good.
Torres with the uppercut. Provodnikov comes forward behind that jab.
You know, in the fight plan, our new version of it, you know, we talked about the uppercut. We talked about Provodnikov, when he gets inside, leaves himself available, leaves himself in the middle for the uppercut. As you just said a moment ago, he hasn't really changed that because Torres has caught him with the uppercut. Provodnikov went straight back, took a picture there a little bit we talk about. Got caught with, yeah, he did, he caught him. Those weren't flash bulbs.
Jab and right hand from the Russian.
There's that timed right hand. Provodnikov very good at it. And as the jab of Provodnikov, we talked about again in our new version of the fight plan, sometimes throws it from a little too close. Torres has hope to time him with right hand. Two things I see that maybe Torres can get a little hope for. Time the right hand over the jab of Provodnikov when he throws it from too close, and hit him with the uppercut on the inside.
Don't press on him, don't press on him.
There's that uppercut working for Torres, but there's
a left uppercut from Provodnikov.
Yeah, a little stronger.
5 seconds. Finish it, bell.
End of 2. Field they played football on, Teddy. They call it the Inferno. And Bill Chaves, their athletic director, saying, you know what, I got to come out to Friday night fights. He's sitting right behind us ringside. Always like coming out here to this area. Good fans.
Talk about Eastern Washington. They have a football player in the NFL on the Oakland Raiders, the team that my son works for, Taiwan Jones. Running back,
Watch your head,
very fast.
Watch your head, Dave.
From Eastern Washington. Matter of fact, my son timed him. That's why I know how fast he is. He did his pro day this past year.
Teddy Jr., an advanced scout for the Raiders. Up jab from Ruslan Provodnikov. Round number 3. Provodnikov, we detailed it, coming off a controversial decision win against DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. Torres, a local veteran from right here in Washington State.
Just saw a sample of that right hand a moment ago by Provodnikov. Something that he's always done well in his career, Joe. He knows how to time you with that right hand if you throw that jab a little slow or from too close. Now he's susceptible too. That's the funny thing. Both guys can catch the other guy with the same punch, the right hand. Torres will have opportunities to catch Provodnikov when he jabs. And as we've seen, Provodnikov has caught Torres when he's jabbed. I wonder how good a shape Provodnikov's in.
Oh, what do you make of it?
Well, no, the reason I say that is, again, his last fight was 1.5 months ago. Really had severe cuts over his eyes. I know it's not enough time for it to heal, and definitely not enough time to heal to go right back to sparring in the gym. So I'm wondering how much sparring he was able to get in the gym with those eyes for this fight. That's what I'm wondering about, and it's making me think, is that why he has slowed the pace down a little bit after it looked like he could take Torres out of there?
Yeah, final minute of that first round.
Watch your head,
there was a moment where if he kept up with the aggressiveness, you thought maybe this fight was going to be over.
Only Provodnikov knows what kind of shape he's in. And he's going to behave accordingly.
There's that uppercut on the inside from Torres. He's had those moments of opportunities to land it.
Provodnikov gets too square with his legs. Torres does too.
Good combination from Ruslan. And then tests the body with the right hand.
Look how square the legs are of Torres when you get close to him. And that's another reason why, just like in our first fight with Kim and Amadou, why Torres is easy to find.
Coming to the end of 3. Glad you're with us here for Friday Night Fights. Joe and Teddy in Airway Heights, Washington at the Northern Quest Resort and Casino. We had a good opener with Ji-Hoon Kim and Yakubu Amadou. Kim taking a unanimous decision. A lot of offense in that. And Ruslan Provodnikov now here in round number 4 against David Torres. The Russian scored a knockdown in the first round.
Let me get this information out here because I just have to say this. Torres has a win over a fighter named Knuckles.
I love it. Great boxing name. Old school boxing name. I like it.
And I'm not seeing enough Knuckles from Provodnikov when I thought that there would be plenty of opportunities to put some Knuckles on Torres. And again, I'm wondering really what kind of shape Provodnikov's in. I see his mouth open. I see him taking some breaths. Hands it down a little bit.
And Provodnikov goes back and he follows him with a left hand. And now a jab that scored and then came in and did land a left hook as well. Double jab now by Provodnikov. Both men squared up on the inside. And a tough time finding the mark that time was Torres. There's that left uppercut and came back with a left hook that missed.
Torres is, again, very game, but part of the reason why he's still there is because of what Provodnikov has not done. He has not been relentless. If he's relentless, if he continues his offense, I think Torres goes to the showers.
Body shot from Provodnikov. Uppercut right hand. It was a glancing blow that time.
All Torres has to do, or I should say all Provodnikov has to do, Joe, it's not complicated. Move his hands, because his hands are heavier, much heavier.
Hear that thud there.
You can see the size difference. Torres is too small. But his heart is large.
Right hand to the body, just getting underneath that left elbow is Provodnikov. Now he digs with the left hand and then tries to come upstairs with it.
Finish at the bell.
Very effective round for the Russian. End of 4. Thanks, Bernardo. So the Friday Night fans out there who chime in on both our Facebook page as well as Twitter, you know, picking up on what you said earlier, putting out the thought that moments where you question whether or not Provodnikov is carrying David Torres.
Well, I wonder about that too, and I also wonder if he's just not keeping a slow pace because he's, as we said earlier, we touched on, he's not in tip-top shape. Got cut very badly, especially over that left eye in his last fight, a win over DeMarcus Corey only a month and a half ago, and I don't think he had enough time to get the proper sparring in the gym. We just looked in the corner, and you could see they were putting Vaseline over the left eye of Provodnikov. It was very red. You could see the scar tissue, Joe.
Yeah, you can actually see the faint seam of a prior cut, and the skin starting to spread a bit. So we will monitor that left eye of Provodnikov and see if it opens up at any point.
Torres gives you the body when he puts those earmuffs on.
Don't wrestle, don't wrestle.
Provodnikov hasn't really taken that body quite enough. Again, when you're in good shape, you feel like you can dedicate yourself to taking the body. When you're not in good shape, you don't.
You see some swelling and some bruising and blood on the face of David Torres.
Get off his neck.
Here in the midst of round number 5.
Little cut under the right eye of Torres now, a little abrasion there, getting busted up. You know, going to the body, which I think Provodnikov should be doing, should have been doing, is like buying CDs. You know, you get interest as time goes on. They pay off.
Keep him up a little
But
bit.
you gotta
David.
have money
Off the
to
hip,
buy
off the hip.
CDs, Joe. And maybe Provodnikov doesn't have money in the bank. Conditioning, that would be money.
Buy some CDs as part of the lexicon within the Teddy Talk dictionary. Go into the body. It's going to pay off. So the guys in the truck, they actually walk around with a giant Teddy Talk dictionary, hardbound dictionary.
Yeah,
They just check that when they travel?
Yeah,
Or that's a carry-on?
They have no lives.
Well, that I knew already.
I feel bad, but I love them, and I appreciate it. It's awful nice.
How many copies of that Teddy Talk dictionary?
Keep him up off the hip, David. Keep him up off the hip a little bit.
You can see the redness now in the corner of the left eye of Provodnikov. And again, Provodnikov not getting after it. Winning every fight, every round, I should say handily, but not getting after it. Not putting the hammer down.
Finish at the bell.
There's a timed right hand.
A little bit out there in the crowd. They're here to support Ruslan Provodnikov.
Don't grab, don't hold.
He's been all over the world fighting. Had 150 amateur fights. Once had a bout in China. Debuted in Russia. Third fight of his career was in Connecticut. College graduate from a small town in Siberia.
Every once in a while,
Don't push, Dave. Don't push.
Provodnikov, and he always did this. He'll move his head, he'll make you miss a little bit. When he sees the punches coming, he does a decent job of moving his head, make him miss.
Watch your heads inside.
But doesn't always make
Don't
you
lean
pay
on him,
right
David.
away.
Don't lean on him.
CompuBox says that the power punch is big edge towards Provodnikov, 83 to 53. And now Torres gaining confidence here in round 6, letting those hands go with Provodnikov having his back against the ropes.
Torres may be sensing something. You can sense if a guy's not in top shape. You can hear the way he's breathing. Laboring, maybe. And if you hear that, that's music to your ears.
Fight out of it. Fight out of it.
Stalking him now there for a moment while he was in the corner.
Very true, Joe. Provodnikov stalking him, but not throwing enough punches.
Reminder, tomorrow on ESPN, college basketball action is going to get going at noon with St. John's and Duke. Then 2 o'clock, number 5, Kansas and Iowa State. That Saturday showcase is presented by 5 Hour Energy.
As you said, Joe, Provodnikov stalking
Fight
Torres,
out of it,
but
guys. Fight out of it. Get out of it clean.
not attacking with his hands the way you would think that he should or could.
That was
There
a
you go.
good right hand, and Torres is torn down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're good. Walking in strong.
Talk about that right hand being there. He's good at it, Provodnikov. That right hand right over the left. Now what Provodnikov has to do is 2 things. Keep a little distance, go to the body. Don't get smothered. Keep those hands moving and go downstairs.
Fight back. Fight back.
Something downstairs should be placed by Provodnikov.
Final 20 seconds. Torres trying to survive, and he's doing so by throwing punches. But there's another right hand that rings in, and this fight is over.
Too big, too strong.
Lay down, David. Just stay down. Stay down. Stay down, David.
Good advice
Come on, baby.
from
Come on,
Bobby
baby.
Howard. Just stay down.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's
Torres
okay. It's okay.
is laid out on the canvas as they will get him medical attention. That big right hand started it all, and then the aggressive Russian came after him with a non-stop assault. Ruslan Provodnikov with a 6th round TKO.
Doc, in seconds here.
Let's go back and show you the first knockdown of this 6th round.
The right hand over that exposed chin because the left hand is left out. Watch the left hand of Torres. It's left out there. The right hand gets in. Watch again. You must cover after your punch. Torres does not cover. Leaves the left hand out there. Doesn't move his head. And he gets caught. Now the end of the fight. Provodnikov opens up. And as we thought would happen very early, we mentioned it. We just thought that Provodnikov would wind up knocking out Torres.
No count by Bobby Howard. He came in waving and then waved to get medical attention. The good news for David Torres is that he is sitting up now on the canvas. They'll take this process slow. You lay him down, you evaluate. You go to a seated position. They'll then bring the stool over and go to the next seated position as you see the ringside medical attention right on top of David Torres. So a good course of action being taken there. For the official particulars, we send it up to the ring to Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes 53 seconds of round number 6. Our referee in charge, Bobby Howard, stops the contest. Your winner by way of technical knockout. And now the new WBO Intercontinental Junior Welterweight Champion, Ruslan Provodnikov.